Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Empires and Puzzles video. I figured I'd talk about the costume outfitter. Obviously, it's quite late, and this video is not going to be out with much time to consider it, but I thought it just might give some different ways of looking at these synergies or thinking about things. So, potentially, something I say clicks something into place, and it helps you approach a different situation. So, I thought there could be some value in that, so we'll talk it through, and I'll end up telling you what I'm going to choose based on my options. If you've ever wondered what Empires and Puzzles would be like with way more quality of life features, a dev team that listens to player feedback, and more value for your money spent, then download Gemstone Legends right now from the links in the description of this video to get yourself a free $50 starter bonus. I know it can be intimidating to start a new game like this, but between myself and other great content creators, there are tons of tutorial videos out there to make playing Gemstone Legends a lot of fun. The fact that they offer a $50 starter bonus to new players and have such great quality of life features are two big reasons why over 50,000 Empires and Puzzles players have already made the switch. It's awesome, and I look forward to seeing you there. This is one where it's hard to give advice because everyone has different options. There's going to be some overlap, but it's based on your own personal roster. So this is an interesting feature, I'll just say real quick. However, they disclose that the only heroes that are eligible are ones that are like 594 days old already, which is absolutely ancient in Empires and Puzzles. I mean, like 3 months in terms of hero releases is a long time. Not almost 2 years, but well over a year, getting close to 2 years, is absolutely ancient. So yeah, it's only like 300 gems or whatever. I don't know. We won't go too far into that, but it's a strange feature in my opinion. So here are my options. I'll give you guys a moment to soak these in. And you can see which ones I have already that I guess would otherwise be offered and aren't. I won't go too far, but it's interesting that if you look at someone like Liana, put her in there, they only give you the one costume. So it's like they'll add one to what you have, I guess, but they won't carry you too far with it. Only the classic heroes are in that position, but it seemed worth pointing out. So, the ones that I felt most tempted by, I'll say, were Kullervo, and let's look at that real quick. So originally, I guess I can do it over here. Originally, 300 to the target, 470 to a random, mindless attack for 3 turns. Uncleansable against dark for 2 turns longer. So 5 against dark, 3 against everyone else. What they switch it to is higher damage to the first target, which I do like. Lower damage to the random enemy. That's probably what you're going to want in most cases. Mindless attack for 4 turns now. As I've said before, 4 turns feels like it's 2 turns longer than 3 turns. So that's a very welcome change. It's only 1 turn longer against dark, but you're still getting 5 turns out of that, which is still pretty good considering it's uncleansable. And he is fighter class, which is great. The thing that counted against it is this costume bonus is far lower than some of the other ones, so that was a little disappointing. This guy's old enough that he could really benefit from a better costume bonus, but like if we look at, for example, Alfrike, she's got a much bigger costume bonus, more than double for health, and significantly more for attack and defense. Mana's the same as usual. So she actually has some pretty beefy stats still. So she's kind of tempting. It's like only for rush attack though, and because she doesn't have a dispel like that stupid red grandma at very slow speed, I forget her name, you can alpha taunt, dump tiles, alpha taunt, and then launch your assault. So she's also someone I would never use in offense. I usually prefer to favor fast heroes in offense. There weren't any here that were tempting, so then I had to think, well, what would be useful outside of that? So, Fog is just too outdated, impacting too few heroes. Bira not doing enough based on what's going on. Don't really use Revive, especially at slow speed. Not just going to go for the 1 second costume there. Octros, again, I feel like it's too outdated, though the costume bonus is pretty nice. Yeah, it's lower than Alfrike, which is interesting. I guess she's older, I think. Yep. So the next one that I was tempted by was Lidenbrock. Normally we have a cleanse first. This passive makes her functionally fast on the first charge. Cleanses status ailments from all allies first, boost health by 200, and then you have 600 over 4 turns, so 150 per turn plus the healing bonus, and it's reset if there's any status ailments. So she was very good when she came out, because you could fire her quickly, but you have to keep in mind that based on the way that she functions, you probably want to fire her early because you want this health to be building. Right, so with this version, still a cleanse first, boosts health of all allies by 500. Boosted health can exceed max. All allies receive 400 over 4 turns, so 100 per turn plus any healing bonus, and it's reset with status ailments. So the thing is, you want to fire her early, which means the second charge is going to be a lot harder, and I just don't like relying on slow heroes. So this was a tough decision, but I feel like ultimately I just felt like someone I wouldn't really get a lot of use out of. You're not going to want to put these people on defense probably because stat-wise they're a lot lower than some of the other heroes out. Not that her stats are, bad by any means, but just something to consider. So we also have this other passive. When this character casts their special skill, they boost the health of all their allies by 10%. That's actually pretty nice. So you get the 500 plus 10% would probably be another 300 by the time you factor in troops. So you're getting an upfront heal of 800, which is pretty low for a slow hero. That's the thing, is the first charge is nice. If she was just average speed, she would be really good on offense still. But at slow speed, that second charge is going to be difficult, and it just might not happen. As we well know, even average speed heroes in 9 tiles sometimes don't happen in a match. So more dated stats with a slow speed hero just felt like a liability. Even after that first charge, it's not so impactful that you're good from there on out. So that was my thinking there. And then the last one I was considering, because, most of these are not too appealing. Last I was considering was Costume Sif, specifically because increases the mana of a caster in nearby allies by 15%, which is enough to bring probably with a particular mana troop, I forget all the math and breakpoints now, but is enough with the right troop, but not anything crazy, to bring a slow speed hero to functionally fast. So you can put her between 2 impactful slow speed yellows, and by the time you get the tiles to match or to charge her, you're able to charge the 2 others, which is really cool. The reason I ultimately decided against that is because the only slow speed hero that I think would have made sense in this situation was Guardian Elephant, and I saw some testing videos, and he's not impactful enough to be worth it because multi-hero synergies like that are very risky. If she gets hit with a mana slow or something and you can't charge her in 9 tiles, now 3 of your heroes are kind of doing nothing for you, and you need a lot of tiles at that point, which seems unlikely in many situations. So yeah, if you have a very impactful yellow hero, for example, this could be something that is a good decision for you or something to think about. I've used this kind of thing before. Some of you guys might remember with Znolfod and before the nerf RIP and Alfrike, and that was a fun team to use and would win a lot. I think with Ludwig as well, if I remember correctly, which I don't. But I used that a lot. It worked. It's a bit dated to rely on something like that just because of the insane power of defense teams now. So I was a little nervous about, if she gets killed early on by a sniper, then the whole strategy of that team is dead in the water unless I can just count on tons of tiles, which is, pretty unlikely statistically. So that I ultimately decided against. If I had a crazy strong, slow yellow hero, I might be willing to take the risk because those kind of teams are just really fun to use. But I didn't because I've never prioritized slow heroes who are making a bit of a comeback. So nothing else in here is very appealing to me. And I do have 2 Kullervos maxed, and they do come in handy in rush attack. And, could be used elsewhere. The costume bonus will be nice. Fighter class will be nice. Stronger hit up front will be nice. More turns of mindless attack. There's a lot going on there that is good. There's no one else here tempting. If it was 1,000 gems or something, I might just save them because I'm totally free to play at this point for like a year now, which is pretty crazy. So we're going to go with Kullervo, the battle-scarred son. So yeah, let me know what you guys chose and what your logic was behind it. I'm curious to see if people had options I didn't or thought of things that I didn't think of. And just, yeah, it's nice to check in with you guys and see what kind of decisions you're making. So hopefully this was of some value. Generally, I think that's the approach I was trying to take, is just to share my thoughts, and I think it could open up some people's thoughts on synergy and team building, which is the most important aspect of this game. Actually, spending money is the most important aspect of this game now, but it used to be team building, and that's still up there for sure. So let's go for Mr. Kullervo. Wow, we didn't even get the summon screen to make it impactful. All right, well, that's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.